Welcome back to the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies, everyone. I'm Emma, and today we're going to focus on an important public health issue, the resurgence of whooping cough, or pertussis. In 2024 alone, the U.S. saw over 14,500 cases. This is a huge increase from previous years, and it's affecting all sorts of people: teens, infants, pregnant women, and those with chronic conditions. This isn't something we can ignore.
Absolutely, Emma. Whooping cough is caused by the bacterium Bordetella pertussis, and it's highly contagious. The hallmark of the disease is those severe coughing fits, which can be dangerous, especially for vulnerable groups like infants and older adults. While we do have a vaccine, the cases are rising again, and part of the issue is that many people are skipping their booster shots.
Right, Alex. The vaccine is effective, but it requires regular boosters, something people tend to forget. The CDC recommends a series of vaccinations starting at 2 months of age, and then a booster every 10 years. But a lot of teens and adults aren't getting their boosters, and that's where the problem lies. These missed vaccinations leave people vulnerable to infection, and when they get sick, they can spread it to others, especially infants who are too young to be vaccinated themselves.
Exactly, and it's not just about missing vaccines. The pandemic really changed things. Vaccine fatigue is a real issue. People are just tired of getting shots. And there's also growing vaccine hesitancy, which was amplified by COVID-19. People are more skeptical, and it's leading to lower vaccination rates across the board. What's especially concerning is how this is impacting maternal vaccinations, which are vital for protecting newborns from severe whooping cough.
That's a critical point. Pregnant women are encouraged to get vaccinated because it helps pass immunity to their babies, protecting them during those early months when they're most vulnerable. But maternal vaccination rates have dropped significantly. In England, for example, they fell from 72.6% in 2017 to just 58.9% in 2024. That's a serious decline, and it puts infants at great risk.
It's alarming, but this vaccine hesitancy didn't appear out of nowhere. The pandemic shifted everyone's focus to COVID-19 vaccines, and routine vaccinations like those for whooping cough got pushed aside. People struggled to access healthcare services, which made it even harder for some to get vaccinated. And now that pandemic restrictions have lifted, we're seeing the consequences of that.
Yes, once social distancing and mask wearing eased, we started seeing a rebound in respiratory infections like whooping cough. Pertussis cases surged by nearly 10% in 2023 as people went back to normal life. This is what experts call immunity debt. During the pandemic, people weren't exposed to the usual pathogens because of lockdowns and other measures, and now that those have been lifted, we're seeing a surge in infections because people's immune systems weren't getting that regular exposure.
And children are especially at risk because they missed out on that exposure during a critical time in their immune development. The result is that they're now more susceptible to infections like whooping cough. But the good news is that vaccination is still the best way to protect against pertussis. We need to make sure that people, especially kids and teens, are getting their shots.
Absolutely. This is why public health strategies need to emphasize the importance of staying up to date with vaccines. We have to overcome vaccine hesitancy by educating people about the safety and importance of vaccinations, especially now that we're facing this immunity debt. Public health campaigns also need to make vaccines more accessible, particularly in communities that have been hard hit by the pandemic.
That's right. And it's not just about getting vaccines into arms. It's about making sure people understand why it's necessary. Pregnant women, in particular, need to know how important maternal vaccination is for protecting their babies. But it's not only about vaccines. There's been a lot of progress in diagnosing and managing whooping cough.
Yes, new research is making it easier to identify severe cases. There's a diagnostic tool called the cycle threshold CT value, which helps predict how serious the infection is. Lower CT values mean higher bacterial loads, which indicates a more severe infection. This can help doctors tailor treatments to the severity of the disease.
That's a great point, Emma. Lower CT values are also linked to longer hospital stays, so being able to predict severity early on can make a big difference in how we manage these cases. It's one more tool in the fight against whooping cough, and when combined with vaccines, it offers a stronger defense. But as always, the best prevention is vaccination.
Absolutely. And speaking of vaccines, researchers are working on new vaccines that could offer even better protection. One area of focus is modifying the lipid A component of the bacteria to boost the immune response while reducing side effects. These new vaccines could provide longer-lasting immunity, which is something we desperately need.
That's crucial, especially because current vaccines, while effective, don't provide lifelong immunity. We're also seeing the rise of vaccine-resistant strains of Bordetella pertussis, so these innovations are really important to stay ahead of the bacteria.
Another issue complicating whooping cough cases is co-infections. Studies show that a lot of kids diagnosed with pertussis also have other respiratory infections, like human rhinovirus. This makes treating whooping cough even more challenging because the symptoms are more severe and it's harder to diagnose.
Co-infections can also affect the bacterial load, making the disease worse. Understanding the dynamics of co-infections is essential for developing more effective treatments and protocols. That's why comprehensive diagnostic approaches are critical for getting a full picture of what's going on with a patient.
At the end of the day, the resurgence of whooping cough is a public health challenge that requires a multifaceted approach. Vaccines remain our best defense, but we also need to continue research into better diagnostic tools and new vaccine formulations to address the evolving nature of Bordetella pertussis. We can't afford to be complacent. Public health strategies have to adapt.
And it's not just about waiting for new vaccines. Right now, we can still make a huge difference by increasing vaccine coverage, tackling vaccine hesitancy, and ensuring that people have access to the shots they need. It's a collective effort, and if we can raise awareness and keep people informed, we can protect our communities from whooping cough.
That makes vaccine coverage more important than ever. Public health strategies need to focus on rebuilding immunity in our communities by getting people back on track with their vaccinations. This includes promoting vaccines to pregnant women, teens, and adults alike. But as we always say, herbs can complement this effort by boosting the immune system.
Absolutely, Emma. From the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies, we have a powerful herbal formula that can support the body in fighting respiratory infections like whooping cough. Let's talk about thyme, for instance. It has strong antimicrobial properties and has been traditionally used for respiratory issues. It helps soothe coughing and acts as an expectorant.
Then there's elderberry, which is amazing for modulating the immune system and reducing the severity of respiratory infections. Studies show that it can help shorten the duration of coughs, which is crucial for someone dealing with whooping cough.
South African geranium is another key herb. It's commonly used for treating upper respiratory infections and has antibacterial properties. It also supports the body's response to respiratory pathogens, which makes it perfect for managing symptoms.
And we can't forget licorice root. It's anti-inflammatory and soothing, helping to calm irritated throats and reduce coughing. Plus, it has antiviral properties, making it a great immune modulator.
Marshmallow root is another soothing herb that can help with the discomfort of a persistent cough. Its mucilaginous properties create a protective coating on the respiratory tract, which helps reduce irritation.
Echinacea is great for boosting the immune response. It's been shown to reduce the severity and duration of respiratory infections, and it's especially helpful in treating symptoms related to whooping cough.
We've also got andrographis, which has anti-inflammatory and immune-enhancing properties, perfect for supporting the body through the infection. And herbs like astragalus and turmeric can play a supportive role, helping to modulate the immune response and reduce inflammation.
These herbs work in synergy with the body's natural defenses to not only ease symptoms, but also support recovery. But as always, it's important to consult a healthcare provider before introducing any herbal remedies, especially for pregnant women, infants, and people with chronic conditions.
Exactly. Herbal remedies are a great complement to vaccines, but vaccines remain the best protection against whooping cough. So, it's all about combining the best of both worlds, modern medicine and natural support.
For more information on herbal remedies for whooping cough and how you can support your immune system, visit herbalbloom.org. Thanks for tuning in to the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies.
Stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.